What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at the Raven Trekker, the 4th generation. We'll do a quick unboxing and we'll do some size comparisons and Lume display. A quick disclaimer, I did buy this used, so this is not a brand new unboxing, but I do believe everything here included is what would come brand new. So to start here, this is a pretty nice leather case with the logo right down the middle. It's nothing too special, but it actually is nicer than most affordable watches that I buy, so this is really appreciated. The top part here has a little compartment where the warranty cards and some stickers, they're actually really nice. And here is the actual watch. It is a Raven Trekker. It is a 4th generation, the 4th version, which to me is just about the best. All the small kinks and differences of the other generations are kind of smoothed out here. So like I said, this is a used watch and it is sized already. It does come with some extra links over here, but no need for that right now. So we'll go ahead and put that aside and take a look at this. Here it is. And I'm sure you guys know about this brand. This is a micro brand that's been around for a few years already. And they do make their watches in small batches. And even along those small batches, this specific variant, the yellow one that I've been after, was even harder to find. I finally found it online and I was able to get it here. Here we have a signed crown. Very high crystal here that actually I think it accounts for 2 millimeters of the thickness. The thickness of the watch, I believe, is about 11 millimeters without the crystal. With the crystal, it should be around 13 or 14. So it's a very high box AR coated crystal, which really does make it adds to the vintage aesthetic of the watch. The bracelet here does have a pretty heavy taper. It feels quite comfortable. I haven't worn this, but it feels pretty good. It feels solid, but still flexible. Here you have the clasp with the logo. The case diameter is 39 millimeters with the lug to lug of 47.5 millimeters. So again, this is a very vintage style modern watch with the proportions of a vintage style. And we definitely do see this in a lot of modern watches. You see the Black Bay. A lot of the Halios watches have these very similar dimensions. And it's working for the market right now. And for me, I've been after this specific one simply because I do like micro brands. I think they offer some good value. I have, and actually a good disclaimer here is I have owned the Black Bay. I've owned a couple of I've owned the Oris vintage diver too, and to me they all felt, I mean, they were fantastic watches, but to me, if I want a dive watch like this, a tool watch, I do prefer it being on the more affordable side if I'm going to be wearing it a lot and kind of using it as a beater. They were fantastic watches, but I wanted something a little more affordable, and I was able to catch this one. Here is some more. So let's do some size comparisons here. I have the Timex Q. I brought this one out because it's a similar style watch. A vintage style dive watch that is modern but uses the proportions of the older watches, and as you can see there, this one, the Timex, is obviously quartz, so it's going to be a lot thinner, but on the diameter side it really isn't that much smaller or bigger. They're quite close in size. It's great to see. And I brought some other contemporary dive watches here too, to really show the great proportions of the Trekker here. Here's the orange Samurai, and honestly, look at that. The Samurai really is very big compared to the Raven. And as you can also see, I do have a thing for bright colored dive watches. On the thickness, the Samurai does take it up by quite a lot. You can see the lug to lug there. Also on the Samurai, it's quite a lot bigger. And of course the Seiko 5 that I like using, because it's I think very similar to this, and a modern watch that's taking on a vintage style. And again, you can see how the Trekker is quite a bit smaller than the Seiko here. Even though the Seiko does have smaller lugs, it does look and wear quite a bit larger. Thickness also. If it weren't for the crystal, the Seiko would be quite a bit thicker. So this really is good to see on the Trekker side that they were able to maintain the small proportions. And I do believe on the variants, on the different generations of this watch, they have slimmed it down both on thickness and on case diameter. So that, again, that really is good to see. We'll go ahead and do some Lume shots here, Lume comparison also. So here we have the Trekker. Of course, one of the big things that attracted me to this watch was the Lume bezel. There it is. That's beautiful right there. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a ceramic bezel that's also lumed. And I gotta say, the lume is distributed really nicely, not just on the indices and the hands, but on the bezel too. Which I have encountered lumed bezels that really don't do a great job. It's good to see Raven being able to do this. One more time. That's great. So we'll do some Lume comparisons here. Here it is next to the Seiko Lume, which of course everybody knows is fantastic. So as y'all can see, the tone of the Lume is a little bit different. The Seiko is a usual green, while the Raven is definitely more on the blue side. I wouldn't say it's as blue as some of the Citizen Lume that I've owned, but it is more of a light baby blue, which again, it's really nice to see. But you can see the Raven, in terms of strength of the Lume, it really does hold its own against Seiko, which is pretty hard to beat. So next to the Timex, I do think the Raven kind of blows it out of the water, and honestly, for about $150 a Timex cost, I don't expect it to do well against the Raven, but it is nice to see the tone difference there. This is a lighter tone of green too, compared to the blue over here. And finally, it's the same kind of Seiko Lume, but let's show it off here. There it is. Overall, I am very impressed by this watch at the price range. I think I was able to pick it up around $600. I think it's going to be a good one to have on the wrist. I've been looking for a yellow watch, and this knocks out a lot of check marks on the list. I haven't worn this, so I will see how it is able to stay in my collection. I do tend to rotate dive watches quite a bit, but this might be the perfect mix of fun, bright, affordable, while still being a very, very good watch. So let's throw it on the wrist now. See, on the wrist, it wears absolutely amazing. It wears pretty well with my generally flat wrist. The signed crown is a nice touch also. The bracelet is nice, though I think I will throw it on a rubber strap, but the taper does go a long way. And overall, it simply does wear really nice on my 6.5, 6.75 inch wrist. There's absolutely no complaints here.